Yes, everybody ready? Clap. Who gives me the clap? Thank you. Welcome everyone and thank you for being here. Thank you.
Dan terima kasih berada di sini.
So grateful for all of you.
Sangat bersyukur dengan Anda hadir di sini.
Can we mute everyone? Marusa, could you make me the host back? Is that possible? So I could probably mute. Okay, cool. Thank you. Yeah. All right. So welcome to the last sudden creation of a Zoom call on, no, don't worry about it, Winda. A sudden creation on Business Done Different Masterclass. And this actually popped when I was having a conversation with Helen today. And she said, what is Business Done Different 3-day masterclass? And what is the difference between Joy of Business and this? I was like, oh, interesting. It's interesting that, you know, there is, so Joy of Business is the speciality that was created by Simon Molasses. And Business Done Different 3-day masterclass is one of the classes of Joy of Business. So under Joy of Business, we as facilitators, as Joy of Business facilitators, we facilitate a number of classes. And Business Done Different is one of them. It's a 3-day masterclass. And we talk about business. We talk about business as your life, as your living, as a creation. And we also talk about money, which is a byproduct of your business. I like it that the wizard raised his eyebrows. So, yeah. So money is a byproduct of your creations. And very often what we look at, very often people come from the space of looking at business to just create money, or it's just about the money. And when they have a good money day, they have a good business day. And when they have a bad money day, it's a bad business day. So everything's, you know, revolving around the amount of money that comes in and the amount of money that goes out to define your business as good or bad. Which oftentimes is where we glump. And that oftentimes is where we glump both money and business. That's probably the translation. Nan, N-A-N, I think. Could you mute yourself, honey? Thank you, love. Thanks, darling. Grateful. Yeah. So, yeah. So when we lump both money and business as one, that's often where business starts to become twisted and your financial reality starts to become insane. Because it's like, give it a thought, you know, you have a dog and a cat at home and you want to make the dog the cat and the cat the dog and you want to put them both together and you want to make them both the same way. Is that going to create for either of them? Or is that going to kill both? Right? So everywhere that you have lumped money and business and money and put them in the same box that has you defining business based on money and defining money based on your business, would you all please just try and uncreate that? Right, wrong, good, bad, pot, all 9 shots, boys and beyonds. So today's call, I actually wanted to bring into your worlds this possibility of having or being in business the way you've never been before, the way nobody has ever been before. Because what you can be in business is the way you create your life. So what if you decided, you know, that your business has to look like, or it has to be, does your money flows have to be 5 figures, 4 figures, 3 figures for you to decide what your business is? And when it doesn't come up to that figure, would you change your business based on, or would you decide that your business was a failure? So now you have to change it, give it up, you know, or or reject it or spurn it based on the money flows were not as what I expected my business to create. So how many of you have spurned your business based on the money flows that came in?
Shanna?
Yes, darling?
Could you share a little bit about what the energy of spurning is?
Yeah, I'd love to. Thank you for that question, Sam. So spurning is like when you show your hand to somebody. Don't talk to me. Don't talk to me. I don't want you. I don't need you. No, get away. That's spurning, right? It's like, get out of my energy. Get out of my field. Get out of my life. I don't want you. You're wrong. You're evil. I'm right. And don't you see how horrible you are?
Hi, Sudha. Could you move? Yeah.
Thank you. So when you spurn your business, you're actually spurning you. And you really want to see this, guys, because when you are rejecting your business, which is the business of life, living, creation, you're really spurning yourself. You're spurning your creation and you're giving up on yourself. So everywhere that you've spurned your business, you've spurned your creations, and you've given up on who you be and on what you know, would you all destroy and uncreate that, please? Right, wrong, good, bad, what, walk on 9 shots, boys and beyonds. It's like, you know, judgments is something we use to spurn, knowing that judgments are just a lie. But we still go to judgments so we can understand where we belong, where we fit in, what box we can put our business into. The success box, the failure box. Right? So have any of you ever done that? Nah, just me.
Sorry.
Yes, love.
Okay, what's the, you see, what do you
Spurn?
mean by
Spurning?
yes?
Spurning
Yes.
is you rejecting somebody with making them wrong for who they be by actually being the energy of complete disregard, complete dishonor, where you actually throw them, you want to throw them out of your life. You want nothing to do with them. You know that energy where you go, talk to the hand. I don't want anything to do with you. I'm done. You know, that is spurning. When you're like, we're done. I have nothing to do with you anymore. So to do that, you have to spurn the next person because you have to come from the space of righteousness, of you being right and them being wrong. So everywhere that you've judged your business as wrong, evil, terrible, the reason for your failure, the reason for you not to have any money, the reason of the choices that you're making, instead of acknowledging that the choices you're making is what's showing up as a business, as your business, would you all destroy and uncreate that? Right, wrong, good, bad, what, walk, on shots, boys and beyonds. Yeah. Oops. Shumona. Thank you, darling. Can we please have you on mute, love? Thanks, darling. Thank you. Yeah. So is there any question that anybody has around business or the class business done different in particular?
I have a question.
Yes. Yes. Go for it, love.
So, with the energy of business, you know, to tap into and really fully receive how different you can be with it, something that I have often struggled is with the way I create, it's really very undefined.
Yeah.
I'm not too sure if I'm actually willing to have the difference of the business that I create. It is so undefined. So it's not that I lack courage or the energy feels that it's not unwillingness, it's not courage, but I'm really not willing to receive the difference that probably I can be or what my business can create. It is so undefined. And so if you were to, proper question.
Can I ask you a question? I like the way you acknowledge that what you create from the space of completely being undefined. But have you defined receiving?
I've probably concluded that the world may not be ready for the difference, maybe.
Okay, and have you defined your receiving?
Maybe.
Yes or no?
Yes, let's go with yes.
And does your definition of receiving not match what you are receiving?
Yes.
Right, wrong, good, bad, pot, all 9 shots, boys and beyond. So when you are being undefined in business, guess what? Your receiving will be undefined. But are you still willing to acknowledge it as receiving?
Wow, that's really interesting.
Yeah. And everywhere that you go into the need to define the business, need to define your receiving, so you can get it right and you know where it fits in and where you belong.
Oh yeah, I'm probably trying to fit it in and check the belonging.
Yeah.
Do I belong? Does the business belong to this?
What status? Where do I fit in? What is the status of my life? Where do I fit in? Where do I belong? That's a huge energy in business. You know, how many of you are looking at your business to know what your status is? And everywhere you've defined yourself based on that. Wow, would you all destroy and uncreate that, please?
Yes.
I trunk with that hot talk 9 shots, boys and beyonds.
It's almost like referencing.
Yeah.
I have no reference for it.
Yeah. But when you have no reference for it, honey, you have to look at, when you have no reference for the creating and you're coming from the undefined energy of creating, yet you're going into the defined and the reference points to receiving, you're really going into rejection. So what have you made so vital, so real, and so valuable about receiving it the right way that would allow you to know where you belong? Right, wrong, good, bad, pot, all 9 shots, boys and beyond. Can I please have everyone on mute except Sam and whoever else would like to hop on with a question? I think it's Shikha, please, darling. Shikha, could I please have you on mute? Can anyone mute? Marusa, could you mute Shikha?
Or you can move the host to me. I'll do that.
Yeah, Marusa, could you make Sam the host, please? Thank you. Okay.
That's a bang-on question or space, Channa, of receiving it the right way.
Yeah.
So if I were to turn up my receiving it in the most undefined way, I wonder what that would open up.
How unpredictable would your life be?
Way too. I don't think I'd have any answer to people. I don't have answers for people. So I'd be like, oh, when people have a question, I don't have an answer for people of, hey, this is what I do. I don't have anything to say to them.
So is that right or is that wrong? Or is it just an interesting point of view, the way you be?
It's very interesting. It's very weird. I don't have something to share with you.
But have you defined it as a wrongness in your world?
Way too different is probably wrong.
Yeah, that. So if you are willing to be that, way too different, too weird, would you still need to belong?
Right.
Would you belong? Would you belong?
No.
Right, wrong, good, bad, pot, pork, all 9 shots, boys and beyonds. Would your business belong?
No.
And how many of you fear your business not being accepted the right way? Right, wrong, good, bad, pot, work, online charts, boys and girls. I love the way Helen laughs at that one. Yeah, I got to get my business right so people accept me and they see me the right way and they know I'm finally successful so they can finally put me in the right box. I'd still be in the box. Right, wrong, good, bad, pot, work, online charts, boys and beyonds. Wow. That's such an interesting energy, right? It's like we look at the way to get out of the box so we can finally create the box that we have decided is better than our previous box. So we can define the change. So we can define how different we are. So we can still belong and fit in. And we're never alone. And we never stand out. You're not willing to be the sore thumb. Are you willing to be the sore thumb that stands out?
I'd be the only one.
Yeah. Sore thumb. Yeah. The sore thumb. You know, the different, the swollen thumb that stands out differently. Yeah. Yeah. SORD, THUMB. Sore thumb. Yeah. Okay. So what's the, you know, you all want to just see this, guys. How much are you doing business so you can finally be accepted? Even right now, I mean, how many of us are facilitating so we get it the right way and not the wrong way? Oh my God, I want to facilitate so people can finally see the brilliance in me and I can be validated by them. Right, wrong, good, bad. Right, wrong, good, bad, pot, work, online shots, boys and beyonds. While saying, don't look for validation, look for acknowledgement. Right, wrong, good, bad, pot, work, online shots, boys and beyonds, everywhere. And that energy that you be, everywhere you twist it into the need to be validated. Is your need to get it right? Is your need for approval? Sam.
What is the value of wanting to belong?
What is it? You tell me. What is it for you?
I'm so tempted to say I don't know, but I'm not saying it.
Yeah. What do you know? What are you not willing to know that you know?
It's like a deep validation of existence on Earth. So I can feel belong to Earth. What I'm trying too hard to feel belong to Earth.
Cool. That's so beautiful, what you just said. The need to belong to the Earth. That comes from the space of not acknowledging that you are the Earth.
Wow. Okay, that's deep.
Yeah. Oh, I just got logged out, did I? No, I'm still here. Okay, cool. I thought I lost you. Yeah. I mean, where does need come from? Need comes from a lack of acknowledgement. If you would acknowledge the greatness of you, would there be any need? If you would acknowledge you being a part of the earth and the earth being a part of you, if you would acknowledge that, would there be the need?
Wow, thank you for that. That's huge.
You're welcome, honey.
Yeah, what would it take for me to acknowledge I am Earth instead of looking for validation?
Yeah. Yeah. And when we look for validation is when we get sucked into the justification system. So we can justify our very existence. And the justification system is so colorfully decorated with excuses, reasons, justifications, all the whys, all the becauses. Hey, Scott, don't you see? I have a full justification system. You want to see it? If you see it, you will believe me. And if you will believe me, you will know I'm right. So everything Dad brought up, would you all destroy and uncreate that? Right, wrong, good, bad, pot, pock, all 9 shots, boys and beyonds. Wow. Yeah.
Yeah, Chanana, I have a question.
Yes, darling. Yes.
Actually, what is the difference between
Validation.
validation and the acknowledgement? Because sometimes I found I'm mixing up whether like other people is acknowledge me or I am seeking for their validation.
Yeah.
So I'm not sure whether I'm seeking for the validation or I am received the acknowledgement from them. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a beautiful question. And I often find, for me, to know what validation is when something sticks me. Validation is always a lie, guys. It's always a lie. It's never the truth. It's what you want to hear when you get validated. And when you don't want to hear something, you are invalidated. You're like, that comes from you having a point of view and them delivering you the point of view. So when they deliver to you something that you don't want to hear, you say, I was invalidated. And when you hear what you want to hear, you're like, oh, they validated me. Acknowledgement is just what it is. It just is. It's light. It's light. It comes off. It's like a bouncing ball. It just comes and it just goes. And it's like, oh, okay, thank you. It expands your world. It's not heavy. It doesn't contract. It can't stick you. It just contributes to you in a beautiful manner. And you show up as a gift. And whatever an acknowledgement is actually a two-way. It's not just one way. It's a flow. It's an acoustic wavelength. Because there is no polarity attached to it. There is no good, bad. There is no digitization. There is no breaking up of pieces. It's just an acoustic flow. A validation is an electrical flow. It's a charge. Did you get that, darling?
Yeah. Yeah, because most of the time it's like, I think it's acknowledgement, yeah, because most of the time it's like, I don't expect they are saying all these things to me. There's just like, they just pop out and say this to me, yeah.
And also, if you just want to ask, Helen, when someone says something to you, you just want to ask, is this an acknowledgement? Yes or no? Is this a validation? Oh, it's a validation. If it expands your world, it's an acknowledgement. It contracts your world, it's a validation.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, but mostly it's expand my world, yeah.
Awesome. Great. Yeah.
Yeah, thank you for that.
Thank you for your question, honey. Is there anybody else who would like to talk about business? Do we have anyone? Yes, the wizard. Yay.
We've been waiting for you.
Oh, totally, Sam. You said it.
Hello.
Hello.
Can you talk about pressure in business? So what is the value of pressure being on this?
Yeah, I love that question. Pressure. Oh my God, pressure is so real in business. It's almost, you almost buy pressure as a part of business when you start a business. You almost go looking for the pressure because you're supposed to have pressure when you're working. And that is the insanity of your creating, of your being in business. It's insanity because what is real and true for you is ease, joy, and glory. But we oftentimes, more than often, we go the insane way. We create the insanity with our choices so we can justify we are working hard. Do you see how much pressure I have in business? Do you see how difficult it is to work? Do you see how many hours I put into my work? Oh my God. It's like Dane did this for a while, okay? He was like, Gary, I'm so tired. I work morning to evening. I have so much pressure on me. I'm changing the world and I'm so exhausted and I'm traveling around. And Gary looked at him and he said, well, why don't you stop? He says, no, I don't want to stop. He says, so would you acknowledge that you love it? Would you acknowledge you enjoy it? He says, yes, yes, I enjoy it. So is that pressure now or is that fun? Right, wrong, good, bad, what work, all 9 shots, boys and beyonds, got you. So how much fun do you have that you have misidentified as pressure? Yeah.
Yep. Thank you.
You're welcome. In this reality, you're working too hard. You must be exhausted. But you guys, you humanoids, you love it. It's fun. Cool. Yes. So, do we have another question? Do we have a question from the French or the Chinese Zoom? Cool. All right. So,
May I?
Yes, please go for it.
What if we have invested so much amount in the business and business got stuck and we are
Chantana, I have a
we are unable to close it down because investment is already there, debtors already there, and we want to create new business as well. So it's very difficult sometimes.
Yeah. Okay. So Ravindra, that is the energy of where you have invested money to create, okay, let's look at it this way. The predictable reality is that I invest money so I can get the money back. More money than what I invested in. And if I get more money than what I invested in, my business is doing well. And if I don't get more money than what I invested in, if less money than what I invested in comes in, then my business is a failure. And if just the same amount comes in, I'm just quits. Okay, I'm just managing, I'm just surviving, right? That's the point of view that we have all bought about business, right? Everything, everywhere you bought that point of view, would you destroy and uncreate that?
Yes.
Right, wrong, good, bad, what, work, all 9 shots, boys and beyonds. You want to look at your business. You want to ask your business, Ravindra. You want to communicate with your business, and you want to ask what molecule can you instill in your business? In fact, ask this question: what molecule of change can I insert in my business today that would create more money flows, more inconceivable and undefinable money flows right away? And everything that doesn't allow that times a godzillion, would you all destroy and uncreate all of that, please?
Yes.
Right, wrong, good, bad, what, work, on 9 shots, boys and beyonds. You also want to ask, you also want to ask your business, Ravindra, is now the time to change it? Is now the time to add something? Is now the time to add somebody to my business? Who can show up that can change all of this? What can show up that can change this? You want to ask questions, but if you're going to come from the space of, but I invested and now my business is not doing well because I'm not getting the money back, what are you telling the universe? You are telling the universe that I've created the business and it's a failure and it's not going to bring me any more money. So you've defined your business in a certain manner, and now what that's going to show up is going to be just that.
Okay.
You receive the vibration that you be with your business. You all want to know that. Okay?
True.
If you're being the energy of possibilities and you're being the energy, yes, sure, Kareen, I'm sorry. If you're going to
We're
be
sorry, Kareen.
I'm sorry. I just sometimes forget that I'm being translated. So sorry. So if you're going to look at your business and you're going to look at it as, okay, what does it require? And it's not about being delirious here or about being, oh, everything's going to be okay. Because, if you hear yourself saying that, everything's going to be okay. Everything's going to be fine. Don't worry. Everything's going to be fine. You want to ask, how not present am I with my business? Because when you go into that energy of everything's going to be okay, you're actually shutting down your awareness to not see, to not acknowledge what is. So you want to acknowledge what is, like you just acknowledged my business, it's not getting me the money, but I've invested a lot of money. Great acknowledgement. Okay. But now does it have to be a conclusion? Does that have to be a definition of your business? Or can you change it by asking a question?
Sure.
Right? Right and wrong, good and bad, pot and pock, all 9 shots, boys and beyonds. And I would really like you to ask another question for all of you who seem to be in a certain, a similar space, because I know with business, a lot of people come to this class with these questions. And you really want to ask, what definitions do I have that has me limiting my money flows? What definitions do I have of my business that has me limiting the money flows? Right, wrong, good, bad, pot, pock, all 9 shots, boys and beyonds.
Thanks a lot. Thanks.
You're welcome. You're welcome, Ravindra. Run these questions, okay? You got to run them. Yeah, you got to really play with these energies. You got to really ask the questions. You're going to pull out this area from the replay once you get it, and maybe hear it again and again till the energy starts to dissipate, and there's more space for you now to choose something different. There's more space for your business to be different. Okay?
Yeah, sure. Thank
Chandana,
you. Thank you so much.
Yes, darling.
I got a question.
Yes.
So I have this business idea that I think is really beautiful and is actually going to...
1 minute. Who's asking this question? I can't see.
It's Pushpa.
Pushpa. Okay, yes. Oh, Pushpa. I'm like, Sam is not talking. Yes.
Okay. So I have this beautiful business idea, which I think is going to upgrade consciousness.
Okay.
But I haven't really gotten started with it, but I know what I have to do. But the kind of creation block that I'm having is I've already thought about how is the warehousing going to be managed? How is it going to be managed logistically? How is the production going to take place? And blah, blah, blah. And there's so much happening in my mind. I feel like it's blocking me from going ahead, which I think most of the entrepreneurs face, because they think that so much.
They're translating that.
Yeah. Clarine is like,
sorry.
She's like,
okay.
I'm so sorry. So as an entrepreneur, I think when we run through the idea in our head, we always think there is so much that has to take place, whether it's a service or a product for that matter, which kind of blocks us from creating, because we don't know who's going to come and do that for you. We don't know if we can hire those people, who's going to... There's a lot that happens when you have to start something up. So how do you really overcome that? Because in my head, I know this.
Yeah, that. In my head. That one. Have you already created it in your head?
Yes.
Well, you've created it, honey. Can you acknowledge you've created it?
Wow, that's big.
Yeah. So now what different way of creation is possible with that? That.
Okay, that was big.
Thank you for receiving. I drank a bad pot popcorn and shots, boys and beyonds. Cool.
Okay, so when I just acknowledged that, what came up was, I know how to get this on board.
Yeah, you know, but every time you go into a conclusion of knowing, you've again killed it. So you want to know, and you want to live in 10-second increments by asking, what next? What's required here? Who can I hire here? You want to be in the question, love. Because every time you know, and I'm going to repeat this for everybody, because every time you know and you go into conclusion about it, you've gone into it being the right way. You've attached a judgment to your knowing.
Positive judgment, that's right.
Yeah. And the magic is just gone. Judgment kills.
That's brilliant.
Wow, the right way is so sneaky. I mean, you see, the wrong way is just blaring in your face. The right way is just so sneaky. We are like, yeah, I'm doing this right. And You're in the space
Yeah.
of conclusion, and then bam.
Yeah. Yeah. So true. And you know, positive judgments are sneakier than the negative judgments. Negative judgments you're kind of aware of, you know. Positive judgments, how often have you misidentified them as awareness? So everywhere that, you know, yeah. So everywhere that you have been misidentifying and misapplying positive judgment for awareness, would you all destroy and not create that? Right, wrong, good, bad, but parka, line shots, boys and beyonds. Did that clarify it for you, honey?
Yep. A lot happened.
Yep, I'm happy. I'm glad. I'm a little sadistic when I see that changing. I'm like, good job. Awesome. How does it get any better than that, love? Yeah, truly. What else is possible from here? Yeah. Helen says we have a few questions from the Chinese Zoom. Do you want to read them out, darling?
Yeah. So the first question from one of the people from the Chinese Zoom is that she asking, is that everyone need to have a business? And then her second question is, business is a distractor income if based on what we learn in foundation. So how can we deal with them? Yeah. And the second question from another person is, what is...
Yeah, let me go through with these two questions.
Okay.
The first question, does everyone need to have a business? No. Is everyone in business? Yes. Okay. Does everyone need to have a business? No. Is everyone in business? Yes. If you're breathing and you have blood flowing through your veins and you're waking up in the morning, you are in business. You are in the business of creating a life. Okay. And the second question, business is a distractor implant. How can we deal with them? Yes. So business, your life you're living, when you're creating your life and you're living from a space of unpredictability, you're creating it different. Okay, you're creating it as what you know is possible on the planet. When you're creating your business to distract you from what is actually possible, you will find yourself being predictable with it. You will find yourself being in conclusion. You will find yourself being addicted. You will find yourself choosing stuff over and over and over and over again with the same result. Like, you know, you invest the money and you lose the money. Then again, you invest the money and again, you lose the money. And then again, you invest money and again, you lose the money. Now, that's where your business is a distractor implant. Because over and over and over and over again, right? And you're making the same choices because you want to get one thing, guys. If you don't change your points of views about money, the financial mess you will find yourselves in when you have more money will be crazy. If you don't, and I'm going to repeat this, if you do not change your points of views about money, the more money you create, the greater the financial mess you will find yourselves in. It's not about the money. It's about the creation and where and what space is that coming from? Is that coming from a space of knowing everything is possible? Is that coming from a space of the willingness to make a different choice, to be unpredictable with your creations? Or is it coming from a space of distracting yourself so you never get to see the greatness of what is truly possible? So once again, you can belong. How many people do business so they can belong? And every time you do business to belong, it's a distractor implant. You are doing busyness instead of being in business. You get the difference here? There's a lot of doing in that. It will take a lot of doing. You'll be very busy with problems, busy with pressure, busy with issues, very busy. But you're not being business. So everywhere that, so all the distractor implants under the distractor implant of business that has you creating the problems and the insanity of this reality instead of possibilities and the sanity of ease, joy, and glory, would you all please destroy and uncreate all of that times a godzillion? Right, wrong, good, bad, what, particle, 9 shots, boys and beyonds. So business is, we look at like in this reality, it's about like we talked about, money and business. Oh, we put them both together. But in reality, it's like your business of living, your business of creation of a family, your business of creation of your body, your business of creation of possibilities. And are you all willing? I want you all to get this energy today, it's like, are you creating a business that can sustain while you have a body? And once you give your body up, you don't care what happens to your business. It's just while I'm alive, and if it still does well, I'll leave it for my kids.
You're asking us to create a business for future or probably the lifetimes we might choose to come back
darling.
on.
Yeah, honey. But how many of us just create a business so we can survive and maybe thrive, maybe have a little money, maybe be successful. And then once we are dead and gone, the business will go to our kids and then they do what they with it. How many of you have that point of view about your creation of business? And would you acknowledge that your business is receiving that information? So it's showing up exactly how you want it to be. Just small enough to last maybe 10 years, 20 years, 30 years, 40 years. Now, how big would you have to be and how expansive would you have to have your business thriving 100 years from now, even if you don't have a body anymore? 200 years from now into the future, even if you're not in this body anymore, how big would you have to be so your business can be that big? Right, wrong, good, bad, what, particle, 9 shots, boys and beyonds. And are you willing to be that, guys? Yeah. That is you being a steward of the earth, creating for the future, where it's not just about my life for today, but it's really about you and the future and whatever the future entails, without a point of view there. I drank it back, but 9 shots, boys and beyonds. Eros had a question.
Yes, may I have a question, Chadala?
Yes, love. Yes, darling.
I heard that the business class, most of the time they are talking about business and not so linear. I mean that it's very easy to be infinite, but some of us are dealing with some traditional business like manufacturing, building machines, something like that.
Yeah.
So in case of this choice, can you advise that what kind of question shall we ask?
Yeah, absolutely, darling. See, you want, yeah, truly. That's like, it's so, business is so linear and you said it, business is linear. And when you're in the manufacturing unit, like you said, yes, There's certain expectations, there's certain projections, but you also want to be aware of how many points of views everybody has, including you, of your business.
Yes. Also,
And what,
about point of views.
Yes, right? And how, when you're looking at the linearity of a business, what if you don't have to fight it? What if you don't have to make it wrong? What if you don't have to be in conflict with the linearity? What if you can just look at it, acknowledge it, and ask, what can I be with this linearity that can have it being the contribution beyond this reality? Right, wrong, good, bad, pot, pot, call 9 shots, boys and beyonds.
Thank you. Yes.
You're
We should give
welcome.
more acknowledgement for this linear reality and ask for more.
And ask to create beyond the linearity. When you create beyond the linearity, Iris, you include the linearity. You don't make it wrong. You just go beyond it.
Oh yeah, make it bigger and include it.
Yeah. And there is no fight. There is no conflict there. It's not about my way is the right way and the linear way is the wrong way. No, it's about, okay, cool, it's linear and this is what's required. Hey, but what do I know about that? And what can I be and do that can have me create beyond it?
Okay.
Are you willing to melt all the points of views out of your reality about business? That can have you all being so different with business.
Wow.
Oh, I'm feeling softer.
Yeah. Right on with that. What all 9 shots. Yeah. Thank you for your question.
Really good.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you, Chandana.
You're welcome.
So with an invitation of creating beyond or asking for beyond or being willing to receive something beyond, I never till now had thought about inclusion comes in that.
Yeah.
It's almost like I thought, okay, we're probably leaving behind. That is making linearity smaller or judging it in a way.
You know, Sam, I've said this so often in my classes before, and I heard Gary say it, and it really changed a lot the way I look at Access since then. And I would love to say it here again if you haven't heard this before. Access is not an island. Access is not asking you to separate. Access is asking you to include. You know, you want to include everything. What if every molecule on the planet and all the molecules that create the solidity of your business is a contribution? Are you willing to receive that big? It's huge.
Wow. Thank you so much for that.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Creating beyond has way so much of inclusion than we have acknowledged.
Yeah. 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 And it's all about inclusion. Yeah.
And if you guys have more questions flowing in, or it's time for a wrap.
Yeah, one more question for the Chinese school, the second one. So for another person is, what is the business that I supposed to choose? Yeah.
Well, what makes your body go, oh! Include your business in your creations. Include your body in your creations, and your body will show you. Go with the light and heavy. Ask your body, hey body, would this create? Will this be fun for us together? Will this create a greater future? 5 years from now, 10 years from now, 20 years from now, 30 years from now, 50 years from now, 100 years from now? Yes, let's do it. Even if the world says you're crazy. Are you willing to still be that energy with knowing what you know? Right, wrong, good, bad, but powerful. 9 shots, boys and beyonds. Cool.
We good?
I think so. Yeah.
Thank you, guys. There are
Awesome.
about 52 of you who are here, who've taken about an hour of your precious time to be here with us, to be with Channa. And thank you so much to all the translators and the connectors who have invited so many beautiful people.
Truly.
We're really thankful, and there's a lot of gratitude. So
Immense gratitude. And I'm sorry, Kareen, for being so fast. And a huge gratitude to all of you for being here. And yes.
and we
Thank
have
you, Chandana. Can I ask one more question? Because I put it in
Yes.
the chat, but it was not
Go for
visible.
it. Go for it, honey. Go
Yeah,
for it,
they
darling.
say that business follows joy.
Yeah.
The meaning of joy means when you are in joyful, you will get more income, or how? I mean,
Well, what is joy?
Qu'est-ce que la joie pour toi?
What is joy?
joy is
Qu'est-ce que
happiness,
la joie?
Um, okay. What else?
fun.
Joy is you being alive. So when you're being alive, are you creating? What if the only thing that was true for you, and like, we've been talking about how joy is a capacity that you have that's truly a superpower. Joy is also an elemental. How much greater can you create if you ask to be the embodiment of joy? What can you do? What could show up in your life if you choose to be the embodiment of joy? What if that just includes money as a byproduct? What if money is no longer that significant? What else can you receive? Money too, yeah. And more and more and more and more and greater and greater and greater and greater and greater. What is that energy of possibility? What if you being you is joy? And every time you give yourself up, you go into a space of funk. And then you wonder, where did my joy go? So ask this question, darling. What energy, space, consciousness, choice, magic, mysteries, miracles, and possibilities can I and my body be to be the embodiment of joy I truly be for all eternity? Right round, good back, butt night shots, boys and beyonds. Cool. And we do have a Sam, Marusa,
yes,
somebody
I'm
wants
here.
to, yeah,
I'm just
yeah.
waiting. I'm just way too excited for the upcoming BDD class, which is the Business Done Different Masterclass with Channa. It's going to be on the dates of 7th to 10th of December. Just remember the dates. And if this conversation of business really sparked joy in your bones, just feel free to get in touch with either the translators or the connectors that brought you here. We are so grateful for that.
Yeah.
And if you guys are feeling like, you want to connect with me, feel free. My name is Samantha Pandyan, and I coordinate this with Channa. So you can hit me up. And
maybe you can give your number, Samantha,
yes,
whatever.
I'm just gonna leave my contact details.
Thank you, Mateja. Is that how you pronounce your name?
Okay, that's my number. You can quickly copy it, or you can check my number with any of the translators or the connectors, and feel free to ping us, and we'd be more than happy to walk you through.
Yes.
Please do not stop because of anything. Just hit us up. We'll walk you through how we can work this out for creating something greater with you, your life, your body, and your business. Thank you so much for your time, guys. We are really, really grateful for every question that came across, and really thankful. And I wonder
Thank
what
you.
else we can create.
Thank you, Sam. Thank you, Marusa. Both these brilliant ladies have put everything together, and I want to have a massive gratitude for our wonderful connectors, promoters, and translators. You know who you all are. Just so much gratitude to each one of you.
Thank
Love
you,
you.
Chandana.
Love you, ladies.
Thank you,
Love
guys.
you, guys. Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Love
Thank
you
you
all,
so
guys.
much.
Thank you all
Bye.
so much.
Thank
Love
you.
you.
Thank you,
Thank you.
ladies.
And hope to
Thank
see you all
you.
soon. Bye.
Bye.